Howdy folks, this is Jim and I live in Texas, and this video has two parts. The first part is a review of some luggage I got. The second part is some pathetic self-pity bathos and whining. To get on to the luggage review first, if you've listened to my videos before, you know I love the Ninja 250, considered suitable for trips of any length, but have always chafed because of the lack of storage space. The bike can internally hold an envelope, and that's about it. So I got two new pieces of luggage. Thought I'd talk about them. The first piece are these Nelson Rigg CL-900 saddlebags. This is my second set of Nelson Rigg bags. My first part was the first ones were the CL-1000, which came down to about here, except if you load them up too much and then they get down on your pipe, and the highway patrol thinks you're on fire because you're trailing smoke and it ruins the bags. So CL-1000 was too large. I got these CL-900s. They're the same, only much smaller, so no matter how much crap I put in there, I can't get it down on the pipes. And I'll have to clean these pipes up someday because they look like horrible. So anyway, these Nelson Rigg bags are extremely high quality. There's not much to say about them. They're really good. They're worth every penny. These cost about $100. Well worth it. Then I also wanted enough, but even those little bags are not really enough. They can hold all my tools, and one side all my tools and safety equipment that I like to take with me on a longer trip. Leaves the other side free, but they're really the size of a large woman's purse, so I wanted a little more. So I went to Cycle Gear, and I happened to have a gift card that my beautiful wife gave to me at Christmas for Cycle Gear, and I hadn't really used much of it, just to buy some oil, and I had about $150 of it. So I just walked in there and I was looking at the luggage, and I asked the guy, and I said, "Do you have a big ass tank bag?" And he said, "Yeah, I got just the thing. I got this Cortech 21-liter tank bag." And this was about this $150, which is what I had left on my gift card. So I got this too. This is a huge ass 21-liter tank bag, and it looks ridiculous, I know, but it's really a 3-layer bag. It's got 3 pieces. It's got the map case, it's got the top tank bag and the bottom tank bag, and these will come apart and that'll come off. So for day-to-day use, you have this as your tank bag. This is about the same size as the basic cargo tank bag I was using. And then when you want to go overnight, you've got something the size of a small suitcase. Together they hold 21 liters. I took these on about a 180-mile test drive day before yesterday, and the tank bag worked fine. It looks pretty wobbly and unstable, but it wasn't. I could see the instrument panel just fine. The build quality seems to be really good. The only thing I don't like about it is it's a little harder to get inside the clear plastic as compared to my original tank bag. So I'll probably use the original one, which I have down here just to show you by comparison. This is Cortech's base or Cycle Gear's house brand basic tank bag, and this is fine for around town, and probably for most days I'll use this, but just mainly because the clear plastic pocket is easier to get at than this one, which requires a snap and finding some Velcro. No big deal though. For a long trip, this is it. This keeps me from having to use a tail bag, and since my legs are so short and stubby, it's hard for me to get over even these saddlebags, let alone a tail bag. So if I can get by without a tail bag on this, I want to do it. I think I can. I am planning a possible very long trip at the end of July. I'm thinking about taking this bike to the Oshkosh Air Show, a distance of about 1,300 miles. I'm not sure. I'm scared of the heat, and I'll talk more about that in future videos, but it's at least a possibility at this point. I'm going to the air show for sure, but I'm not sure if I'm going to drive, fly a small plane, ride an airliner, or ride this bike. Jury's still out on that. So I took this on the long ride. I need to try this in a strong crosswind. There's been very little wind here in Texas because it's just been a high pressure bubble of superheated air sitting on top of us for the last month. But it was fine. I had no problem with it, and I wouldn't hesitate to take it with all 3 layers installed anywhere. It'll be interesting to see how it is in a crosswind, but I'm willing to risk that. So this is the Cortech 21-liter tank bag, Nelson Rigg CL-900 saddlebags. If you've got to have soft luggage, I recommend this. They're not cheap, but you get what you pay for. So that's the end of the product review. Now I'll turn the camera off and pick up with some pathetic whining. The long trip I took, fairly long, 180 miles, that's not very long in the big scheme of things, but a good solid, day trip I took on Friday to test these tanks back at was also part of a larger scheme to do a fairly long video about the town of Welder, Texas, which is where my mom and my grandparents on her side are from. It's a little town out in the central Texas near Gonzales. And I was going to make a fairly long video kind of detailing all my memories of Welder, mainly for my family. I have been using this Aptec HD camera, which takes wonderful daylight pictures. I had it mounted on this ram mount on the handlebars because I'm kind of resistant to the idea of a helmet cam, but I'd already concluded this wasn't working because this would tend to wiggle. This whole arrangement has too much elasticity in it, so the videos tended to be real jerky. When you're still, it takes wonderful videos, but on the road you get too much of this, so I was about to come up with plan B, but kind of my plans accelerated. If you look at, first of all, I was fooling with the camera after I got back, trying to get it off. If you look closely at this camera mount, this should be like a tripod mount for a camera. You notice there's no stud. That's because when I tried to take the camera off, the tripod stud thing broke off a piece of plastic on the camera, and I can't get this damn bolt out of this little stud for tripod style stud out. So if anybody can tell me where I can get a tripod stud for a camera, I'd like to know. This is like wedged in here. So first of all, it broke in my hand, and then I dropped it. Now it looks like the switch for the thing is loose. Long story short, my $180 high-def camera dead as a doornail. What does this mean to my legions of fans? It means no more, probably very few or no videos in motion for a while, at least until after Oshkosh, just mainly because the Oshkosh trip is going to be expensive, and I don't really want to buy another camera. I am going to get a helmet, and either use this flip camera I'm filming this with, or another suitable vlogging camera, and do the helmet mounted vlogger like I should have done in the first place, I guess. This really bummed me out when I came home and broke this camera. And then I found out that about half the footage I took, I had audio or video problems with it, so I'm going to have to redo my Welder trip and take some more video out there to finish my epic. So I'm kind of bummed right now about breaking this camera. This is about a $15 piece here, this ramp camera mount. So I'm pretty bummed about this. And this is Jim in Texas, and yes, I know I sound like a pathetic whiner because I just feel like doing some pathetic whining. Sorry about that, folks. Yeah, my video output is going to slow down through the end of this month, but I hope you'll bear with me. I should have some videos from Oshkosh that are interesting if you like airplanes at all. And if you have any thoughts about me riding this bike to Wisconsin, am I insane to do that? I'm scared of the heat because the heat's been so intense down here. I had a real bad experience with heat on August 25th, 2005. Basically, I was trying to rendezvous with Cindy Sheehan in Crawford, Texas on August 25th, 2005 to express to her my opinion of some of the antics she was up to. Me and several thousand other people were up there. And to make a long story short, it was a really hot day, about 108 degrees. This was in August up in Crawford, which is a really hot place. Well, to make a long story short, I was walking across a parking lot, and I looked up to see a bunch of strangers' faces screaming, "Is he still alive?" We'll just leave it at that. And ever since then, I've been scared to death almost of overheating. And so I'm not sure about the Wisconsin trip because of the necessity to get 600 or 700 miles north of Austin before you get into below 95-degree Fahrenheit temperatures that I think I know to be survivable for me. So anyway, those are my thoughts, my pathetic whining. Thanks for listening. This is Jim, and I live in Texas.